Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Younes Charfaoui is here, and in this video we are going to learn about Kotlin regular expression. Let's get started. So regular expression or regex is a way to validate strings, find patterns, and match patterns in string. So this is a mandatory thing that every developer should learn. Mainly it exists in almost every language, so the syntax may be different by a little bit and today we are just going to see the particularities of Kotlin with regular expression. So first of all, as we said, we use it to validate some strings. There is some examples and some rules in order to use them, like dot match any single character, this one match preceding element once, and so on. We'll be checking this. But first of all, we will see how you can create a regular expression. Let's get started. First of all, you can match a pattern. You can create a regular expression using this one. You can use regex, this one, and put your pattern here. That's the first thing. Or you can use your string, like the following. Like, let's say, for example, I want to match something that has name Younes inside. So we will call this pattern like that. And I want to match, let me just write some statement here. And I want to match if this string, let me check, this pattern matches, we say matches or contain matches in. If you go here to the documentation, indicate whether the regular expression can find at least one match in specified input. That's one thing. And there is this one, indicate whether the regular expression might the entire input. So you have to notice what is the difference between that and that. This is matches, and this matches entire. This one, attempt to match the entire input to guess the pattern. So this kind of the same thing. It will give you a match result. This will give you a boolean, like true or false. We will see this one, match in, and let's say that I'm having hello, Younes, comma, I don't know from, or something, just something like that. And I will print it. If I print that, run it, it will say, I think, true, because it can't find Younes here. If I delete only this end and run it, it will say false, because it didn't find it. This isn't a useful pattern, right? You can create it like the following, or you can use this one. Regular expression, this one, to regex. And basically, if you run it, it will give you the same results. Awesome. Now, let's say that I have Younes like that. Why bigger? I can run it, and it will say false. It couldn't find Younes like that. You can give it an option like it can ignore the cases. You can give it here or previously here. Let me go back. Put this one like that. Put this one like that. There is here something called option or regex option. You can give it multiple of options, like set of options, or one option. You can give it reg option. There is all this option. Ignore case, multi-line, Unix lines, I don't know about that, dot match all, and so on. I will be using ignore case. Now, if I run it, it will say true, because it doesn't care if it's like that or not. It will match it anyways. So that's one way to pass some options to the regular expression. You can do it here, you can pass it here. Yeah, and this one, as I said, it accepts a set of regex. So basically, you can pass multiple things like ignore case, for example, and multi-line, for example, and so on. So that's one way to do regular expression. Now let's start learning about some regular expression things. There is something called character class. Character class. If you go here, I will be using this as a support. We'll talk about this character class. So this one, using the square brackets, I can say A, B, or C matches A, B, or C. What is that? For example, let's say I have Younes like that, but I can expect something before it. Like I have A, for example, B or C, for example. And let me just return this one like that. If I run this, it won't match it. Why? It will say, for example, false, because there is either A, B, or C. But if I try to do A like that, it will say true. If I try to do B, it will say true. If I try to do C, of course, it will say true. So this is kind of way like the Boolean OR we have. This is the logical OR. I am searching for Younes preceding either by A, B, or C. Now we can do something else. Let's delete that. You can put here inside your text. Let's say that instead of searching for the E, I will search if there is an E or an A, or for example, this false like that, and it will match it because it contains E. If I try to do A, Younes like that, it will work also. But if I try to do B, the B doesn't exist here. Can run it, it will say false. So this way you can match like or logical cases here. You can use this one, or you can use range. For example, I want to search from A until K, for example. If I run it, this would work because the B is inside it. But if I try to do W like that, it won't work because W isn't here. So that's a way to use ranges in character classes. Now, if I want to do the reverse, I want to match all characters except this one. For example, I want to search for EA like this one. This, I want to search any, but except this one, right? So the way to do that is like going here and using this negation. So you do it like following. Let me search for it. Here it is. Now this one will, for example, if I use E here, it won't work. It will say false. If you use anything, like for example, F, it will work. It will say true. So this kind is to negate things. Now let me delete that. Let me check for something else. Let's say that, for example, in other cases, I want to specify that there is at least 2 letters either here or not. For example, I want to search if there is this Y and U. This one. Let me check. This has special meaning. We should get the U and the N exactly like that. It's not like the character classes like we should get only the Y or the N. It means that it treats this as a whole word. We should get it as it is. If I run this, it will work. If I delete this one, it won't work. Okay, because it must see Y and U. Now there is an option called this one, matches the preceding element once or not at all. What does it mean? If I do it here and I put back my letters, this will mark it normally. It will mark it true. But if I delete it, let me delete it, it will work also. Why? Let me check. It is true. Exactly why? Because with this one, I'm saying that expect seeing U and N one time or not at all. If we did it like that, we are expecting to see it. We must find the Y and the N. All right, we must find it. But using this question mark, we are expecting it either 0 times or 1 time at most. If I do it, for example, let's go back. If I do it multiple times, like if I'm repeating it, I repeated this one 2 times, it won't work. It will say false because it is more than 1 time. Now, if you want it multiple times, you can replace this by this sign. Okay, if I run it, this will give us true because we are multiplying this multiple times. Not multiplication, we are repeating it. Let me check. This one matches the preceding element 0 or more times. So it can be 0, like you can delete it like that. And it will work. It will give us true. For the plus, you can also see it here. The plus match the preceding element once or more times. So we can't have 0 times. For this one, it won't work. It will say false. But if I try to repeat it, it will work. It will say true. And if I repeat it multiple times, I'm using ignore case. So it will work all the times also. So this is the difference between the plus, between this multiplication sign and this sign. There is a difference between this one and this one. Okay, so here in the brackets, if I run this, let me just run it. Let me just put Z here. I will match something start with this one or Z here. It will work both, right? As now, if I want to do this one, this means all things except Y and Z. If I run it, it will say false, right? As if I do the T here, for example, like Tunis, it will work because it's not Y and Z. Now, there is a difference between this one and this one if I put it outside. If I put it outside, it means that this string should start with Y and Z. This should start is the thing we are talking about. Like as you said here, match the starting position within the string. So there is difference between this one and this one. This is negation, right? And this is match the starting point. Now, if I run this, it won't work. If I do Y here, it works, right? Because it is starting with the Y. Now, if I want something like to end in specific thing, I want to end it, for example, with S, or let's say with, for example, with L or K. This would work. If I do like the following K here, it will work also. It is true. But if I do something like M here, it will work also. But I want it to end with this one. So what I should do is the $sign. If I run it, it will be false. It will only end with either K, S, or L. This one will give me true, or the L will give me true. So always this one for starting, this one for end. You can give it class. You can give it class like that. This is class, or you can give it single letter, or you can give it a group with parentheses. Like for example, I wanted to end specifically with S, L, and K. Okay, I won't accept anything else. S, L, and K. This one won't work. But if I do S, L, and K, let me just delete it, K, it will work. Okay, true. Here it is, matches the ending position within the string. Until this point, we learned many things like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, all of that, and we will see more. Now here in IntelliJ or Android Studio, you can do something great. If you tap Alt Enter on the regular expression, there is this thing, context menu called check regular expression. Now here you can check if the sample applies to a regular expression. If I do something like that, as you can see, it's not working. Expression and example does not match. If I try to do like normal Younes like that, it won't work. So I have to do like so. And as you can see, it is working. So this way you can validate your, for example, regular expression directly here, right? You don't have to run it and see if it's work or not. So you can build a great regular expression. Now, something else didn't mention is the alternative operator. This one, alternation operator. So what you can do, basically you can do the AND or the OR, I'm sorry. So you can do here, I want to end it with either SLK or, for example, 0, 1, and 2, for example. So this would work. It will give me true. And if I delete that and put 0, 1, 2, remember this group. So we have to match all of those. If I run it, it will say also true. All right. If I delete it, for example, I put 3 here, it won't work because you are matching all this one at the end. So this is an alternating operator, either this one or this one. There is this one, match any single character. Like, for example, if you want to know, let me just delete all of those. I want to know, like, for example, Y, for example, and dot and N. This will replace by anything. If I do, for example, Y here, Y, for example, do F, or G, for example, F, and do N, it will work. Let me just replace it to matches. Matches mean match the whole input. It will work. I can replace this one with anything, like 1, for example, it will work. Any single character, the dot meaning. Okay. Now, if I do 2 things here, will it work? It works only with single characters. If you do want to repeat that, you have to do something like that. I want this one to be repeated multiple times, and it will give you true. Like I can do anything. Let's start with this one. There is a whole thing, a whole characters here, and end with N. It will work. It will give you true. So almost we covered everything here. There is this S. There is this S. S, it means matches white spaces. So if I did that and run it, maybe it will work. Okay, it did work because it matches this as single character. But let's say I want to have, for example, Younes like that. And I want also to find something else. Like I want to find, for example, Charfaoui, something like that. And there is spaces between those. What you can do is like doing the following, S like that. So this one, we'll try to find Younes like that, Charfaoui like that. If I run it like that, it will work. It will give me true. But if I do multiple spaces, it won't work. Why? Because it will match only one single space character. So in order to do that, you have to do the plus. So this one means multiple spaces. But if I delete this one, it won't work because this plus means 1 or more. So you'll have to put like here, for example, this one, so it matches 0 or more spaces. Okay, put that in mind. So there is this one, or there is word like that. It means any single word between them. Any single word between them. If I run it, now this won't work. It will give me false because there is spaces. So we'll have to delete these spaces like that and run it. This will be true because there is Younes. There is some words here. This word, I don't know. Let me just go back here. Which is match word character. And it is equivalent to this one. I will be showing what is this one. Let me just delete this one. If I do the following, this is a character class, right? I can put it, let me just give me a minute. I can put here from A to Z, and I can start also from A bigger to Z bigger, and I can start from 0 to 9. So this will match everything, any word. Like if I do this thing, it will work. But exactly, it's true because it's matching only one. So what we'll have to do is this one, multiple characters. So it will give you true. But if I do something like underscore here, because sometimes underscore is interpreted part from the word, it will give you false. So here you have to put, you can put it here, for example, you can put it here, it doesn't matter because you can see it here in the example, they're using this underscore. Underscore doesn't have any specific meaning to the regular expression, just a way to use it in the word. So this kind of regular expression. Let's say some regular expression in practice. So here I'm having an example of regular expression for email validation. Let me just put here like email@me.com, for example. If you run it, it will work. And let's try to understand it. Now, there is some things to mention first. This one, Like when you see this one, it's backslash, it means escape character. Now let's try to understand. So this one means start with this one. What does it mean? Start with a word. As we said previously, word is A to Z, bigger characters, and 0 to 9, right? And some underscore. So this word, start with the word, or a dash, or a point, because sometimes we have Younes.s, for example, at me.com. So we need also to pass the point. Don't have the point. If you deleted this one, it won't work because it didn't capture it. If you also did some kind of this dashes, it won't work if you deleted it. Let me just write it again. It won't work this time. So this meaning not like character range. It means this one or this one and this one. Now we are doing this plus. What does it mean plus? It's not concatenation. It means we are searching for this pattern multiple times. So this will match one character, like a word character, this one or this one, and you can have this one, like multiple times. Now we should have also at sign. This isn't important because if you delete it, it won't work. Next, we do have this kind of thing. Here we are searching for, like, for example, you can have .gmail, .youtube, .google.com. You can have multiple things. So we should constrain it like the following. Like we can have multiple words, multiple A to Z, we don't care. Then we should have this is multiplied multiple times. Then we should have one dot. Next, you can repeat all this multiple times or one time, at least one time. Okay, so this means at least one time. Then finally, because we end with the dot, we need this one, .com or .me, for example, or .something. So this is a word, it can contain a dash, all right? Word or a dash, and the length should be like 2 until 4. Okay, so we can have .com, .com.f, I don't know, this would work, but you can have multiple, like this won't work. And you can't have only like F, it won't work. At least 2 or until 4. So this kind of thing, we didn't learn it. This is constraining the repetition of this pattern. Like if you did the plus, it means one or multiple, but this one is constrained with some number. This is awesome. We didn't learn about that. Here we are learning about it. So this is a naturally simple example of regular expression used especially in Kotlin. Now in this article, this is a great article to see. There's multiple examples, multiple things we didn't solve. I will put this Z code link here. Now something to mention is that you can't use it. You can use it here, but you can use it in multiple places, regular expression. For example, let's say you have string and you want to split it. You can split it based on regular expression. So that's use it for regular expression, right? Something else also, sometimes you search in a file. You search in a file here in TDJ or Android Studio. You can search for something. Let's say I'm searching for the main, but you can search also with the regular expression. If you tap on it, it will try to find the regular expression. So basically you can do anything like we did previously, like I'm searching for something start with MA. For example, as you can see, it's a group, and let's say it is repeated multiple times. It is repeated, as you can see, the main is repeated here, and here I'm searching for that. So as you can see, this is an example of regular expression usage also in the IDE. So learning about regular expression is mandatory. As I said here in the article, there is multiple things. Find all, for example, this find all, try to find all the matches. Regular expression with boundaries. We talked about multiple things, but this is a great article to learn about. We didn't solve multiple things also, like look around things, like look ahead, look before, this thing, try to search by your own. So this is it for this video. It was a pretty long video. Thanks a lot for watching to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and see you in the next videos. Salam alaikum.